So at this point, Nikki and Catherine are kind of like butting heads about this. Like, this is my wedding. I can do. I should be able to do how I want to. And she's like, but it's supposed to be big and extravagant for the memories. And she's like, but it doesn't. She's like, but I don't want those memories. Like, that's not how I want it to be. Which I agree with Nikki on this, because I'm like, your wedding is something that's probably going to be memorable to you, regardless of how you do it. When you look back on it, it's hopefully, oh man, what a happy and joyous day, and I was so excited, and I'm so happy now and stuff, hoping. And it doesn't have to be some big thing where it's like television worthy, and that's just dumb. I mean, if people want a big wedding, that's cool. Go ahead and have a big wedding. I think that's fine. But if you don't want a big wedding, you just kind of want something a little small, something a little more intimate, a few less hundred people, and a few less hundred things. I don't see why that's a problem either. And I just, that's not a big deal. And so Regina kind of tries to like go to Nikki's defense, and she's like, well, I mean, yeah, you don't have to do like some kind of huge wedding deal or whatever. She's like, I got married in a courthouse. And John goes, yeah, well, your wedding was also a sham. Really? That's what we're gonna really? That's a low blow. We don't have to bring that up. Now we're splitting hairs, John. You need to stop this. So at this point, Regina's like, this is ridiculous and stuff. And then it turns on to like the whole thing with the alcohol thing, which is when it gets really, really, really awkward, because Regina's like, you guys just don't understand what it's like to be going through this, and like to be like a recovering addict and stuff. It's a really difficult process and stuff. And John says the most ignorant comment that just made me want to throw something at the television. If I didn't love my TV, it would have been broken at this scene. Because John's like, well, I mean, it's just a whole question of willpower and self-control. No, you're so wrong about that on so many levels. That is not the case. You're stupid. Go somewhere else. We're done with you. Screw you. Like, he's always annoyed me. He's always made me angry. But that just pissed me off. I was like, you need to go now. This is ridiculous. And Regina's like, she's like, okay, no, like, no. All of you people are ridiculous. I'm done. So she gets up, she goes back to the house, and she's like, I just can't deal with this. And Bae says, oh, another family dinner bites the dust, which is, again, see, this always happens. And this always happens. And they just shouldn't stop trying to eat dinner together. Just everybody go to your separate corners with your plates of foods and your fold out trays, because this does not work. So, Daphne walks in to the guest house, and she sees that Regina's packing up and everything, and she's like, you're leaving again? And she's like, I'm just gonna go and stay at Angelo's for a little bit, because I can't deal with this is so hard. And she's like, you even did the same thing, you're supposed to be my kid, you're supposed to be kind of more supportive. She's like, you're just turning into like a miniature John and Catherine, which is terrifying. And she's like, well, they were there for me and you weren't, because you weren't here and I was all alone, and they were always there, and it was so much easier when you weren't here, so whatever, fine, I'm mad, anger. And I'm just like, wow, that's wow. This is what you get for trying, essentially, is what I was like, Regina, poor thing. This is the things that you get for actually trying to help people out. You know what? Screw all of them, because you're better than all of them. Well, probably not. But still, at this point you are. So Regina's like, oh, this is ridiculous. So she packs up, she leaves. She goes to Angelo's. And then later on, I can't remember why Daphne and Bae were even talking, but Daphne told Bae, oh yeah, well, Mom left. She went to go stay with Angela. And Bae's like, seriously? She's like, yeah, she left because she thinks that we're all so unbearable. Which you are. You're terrible people. I mean, this is such a big 180 between Daphne and Bae right now, because Bae used to be this kid who was just like, this is so annoying. She's so annoying. I just want to hit her in the face. And then she's really improved and has grown into herself, and she's not like some kid who's like that anymore. Whereas Daphne, who started out that way, has now made it into this unbearable stage where it's like, what is wrong with you? And by the way, I finally figured out what that could probably be. And I think it's John and Catherine. Because Bae started hanging out with John and Catherine less, and then she started improving. Daphne started hanging out Daphne started hanging out with John and Catherine more, and this is what happens. So it's just I'm like, okay, that's no wonder. So in the last little scene, you have Bay showing up at Angela's place, and Regina opens the door, and of course, and Bay's like, "Why do you keep leaving me without saying goodbye? Like, why don't you say anything? Why don't you ever want to spend time with me? Why don't you like care?" And Regina's like, I do want to spend time with you. It's just it's hard with the recovery, and it's hard with John and Catherine always around." And she's like, "I wish that I could spend more time with you, you know, because you're my daughter and I love you." And Bay's like, "Can I at least stay the night?" And Regina's like, "You can stay as long as you want." And like the last little scene, they're like making up the couch together, which I was like, that place doesn't have another. There's not one other room for them to sleep. Really? There's not one other room for Bay to sleep in at all? Could you sleep in your room? Like, is that weird? I don't know. Just like I would just. It's a big apartment. Can I get a bed? But yeah. So that's kind of how the episode ended, and I thought it was a sweet ending. To be honest, I like them. I like Bay and I like Regina, and I like that they're getting to spend time together. And hopefully we get to see Angela again next week. And